Coping with COVID is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. Also, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Center. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their life. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Center at agapects.com. And Columbia Housing Authority. The agency is looking for stories from former residents of Allen Benedict Court to retain some of the property's rich history. In its 80-year life, Allen Benedict Court has been home to some of the country's elite, including a Grammy Award-winning performer, corporate executives, national television celebrities, a host of doctors, lawyers, and NBA greats. So share your pictures, mementos, and memories at chcares@chasc.org. Coping with COVID, brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Fight the spread and take a stand against coronavirus. Wear a mask in public. Stay at least 6 feet apart from others. And get tested. Join us and fight the spread. Visit scdheck.gov/COVID-19.
Tuesday to you. I'm Tre Tailor. You're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. As you heard, it's brought to you by SCDHEC, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection. Well, today we're talking about healing through natural medicines. That's the name of the book from one of our guests, Dr. Samm Pryce, the world-renowned naturopathic physician, joins us today. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. She joins us to tell us exactly how to utilize this healing trend. And then Rick Joyner, a fellow radio colleague at Cmos Distributor, will share with us what it's done for him and how you can get some of his good Cmos.
Yeah.
That's coming up next. Dr. Samm and Rick next on Coping with COVID. But first, your COVID community updates. Richland School District 1 welcomed back 16,000 K through second grade students into the classroom yesterday as the district launched their phase 2 reopening plan. Now, these students will attend in-person classes 2 days per week. Next week, 3rd through 12th graders will return to class. The African American Chamber of Commerce is holding a grant writing workshop at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Now, this is to help small businesses apply for the new CARES Act funding that was announced last week. $65 million is available for nonprofits and small and minority-owned businesses in South Carolina. The deadline to apply is November 1st. Visit acceleratesc.gov and register for the workshop at scadmin/training. And Amy Coney Barrett was confirmed and sworn into the Supreme Court yesterday. The 52-48 vote was the closest ever to a presidential election and the first in modern times with no support from the minority party. The 48-year-old attorney's lifetime appointment will potentially affect rulings on abortion, the ACA, and same-sex marriage. SCDHEC has your most up-to-date listings on times, dates, and locations for COVID testing in and around South Carolina. Check the bottom of the screen for information throughout the show. Also, check the scroll for information on doing a COVID screening in your neighborhood at your event. Also, the DHEC Care Line has information about COVID testing and screening, and if you need transportation to get to a COVID screening. Now, speaking of transportation, if you are immobile and unable to get to a test and live in Richland or Clarendon County, paramedics there are offering in-home testing. You see the information on the screen. Please contact 911 for more information. And it's time to get your flu shot, especially due to COVID. And there are several free flu shots available. SCDHEC, Prisma Health, and the VA are also offering free flu shots throughout the state of South Carolina. And again, information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen and will be throughout the show. The South Carolina Bar Association and SC Legal Services offer a toll-free number and website for anyone that needs help with their rent and with mortgage assistance. And the City of Columbia is also offering a 6-month payment plan for folks who are behind and need it. They also are offering payment assistance up to 75% of your bill. As you know, early voting has started. Check out the various satellite locations throughout the state where you can vote during the week, regardless of where you usually vote. Also, if you have requested a mail-in ballot, you can drop it off anytime at any voting location. You shouldn't have to wait in line. You should be able to just walk up and drop it off. Also, check to see if there's a drop box. Now, the March to the Polls is going on this Saturday in Columbia and in Charleston. We're going to talk with those ladies a little bit later on this week on coping with COVID, but check the screen for more information this Saturday about the March to the Polls. And the South Carolina Department of Employment and Workforce is continuing to register for the free certifications and classes they're doing for folks who are currently unemployed. Business, technology, health, data science, also courses in arts and humanities. They're offered in both English and Spanish, and you can take as many as you like, but registration does close this month on October 31st. Visit do.sc.gov for more information. Rashonda Pratt is continuing her online help for folks who need it with virtual schooling and working. She was on the show a couple of weeks ago and gave some amazing tips, and she's dedicated an entire YouTube channel to it. So check out The Roast Show Live. Finally, CarMax is hiring. If you need a gig, several positions are available at CarMax. You can see the information on the screen. Go to careers@carmax.com for more information. Coping with COVID is streaming live on the Tailor Made Production Facebook page. Please go over there and hit like and follow so you can watch Coping with COVID Monday through Saturday at 2 p.m. And you can also go to YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube also. Please go over there and don't forget to hit subscribe. I'm Tre Tailor, and you are watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. And of late, it seems to be a shift of going towards more natural. People are gardening and growing their own food, drinking more water, specifically alkaline water, meditating, exercising, and looking at hemp, vitamins, and other natural types of healings. And it's great. But I wanted to talk to someone who can tell us if it is or if it ain't the right thing to do. Dr. Samm Pryce is a world-renowned naturopathic physician, international speaker, 3-time best-selling author, international wellness retreat host, and she's a mom and a wife, which right now with homeschooling, girl, that's the biggest job that you have. And so thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Want to say hi to Paul Williams from Charlotte. Hey there, Paul. Thank you so much for joining us. Please post and share out this information so we can get this message to the masses, because Dr. Samm, it does seem like, or do you see people kind of moving more toward the natural lifestyle, I guess I'll call it?
I have definitely had a boost. So I have been doing virtual appointments for a while. So I'm a concierge naturopathic physician, which means that they have me. They can text message me, they can call me, they can video, whatnot. So I've seen a boost in people coming to me for natural remedies. So a naturopathic physician is an expert in natural medicine. We are real doctors. I am board certified and licensed. So our last 2 years of school, so the first 2 years are the same as any medical profession, your MD, your DO, but the last 2 years we really specialize in botanical medicine. So your herbs and things like that. We also specialize in the drug herb interaction. So a lot of times patients are coming because they want to get off of their medication, right? Or they just want to make sure that they're not doing anything wrong, right? Nothing that's going to be harmful. And then we also do homeopathy, or we do nutrition. So I'm well versed in nutrition and have a mastery in blood type science. So most of what I do is very customized and genetic based, and it tends to err on the side of the natural treatment.
Okay, that's great. Well, let's start talking about a couple of different things. Sure. I remember several years ago, a physician telling me that I should switch to alkaline water, and I do. So yeah, I've got mine. I've got mine too. Look. So tell me what's good about alkaline water. Why is it better than non-alkaline water, I guess?
So believe it or not, I didn't even discover alkaline water until maybe 7 years ago when I was pregnant. And I was drinking a bottle of water and I got severe acid reflux. And I was like, what in the world? And every time I drank a bottle of water, I would have acid reflux.
Wow.
So most of our water is acidic. And the reason why we want alkalinized water is because viruses, bacteria, pathogen, they tend to thrive in an acidic environment. We want our bodies to be alkalinized. And what I mean by that is you have a line and 7 is neutral. And down below 7 is acidic and above 7 is basic, or what we call alkalinized, right? So viruses, bacteria, pathogen don't really do well in a basic or an alkalinized environment. So that's what we want our bodies to be, in that milieu, that perspective, so that they don't thrive.
Right. So alkaline is the best thing now. You should get as close to 10 pH as possible. Is that correct?
So actually, I've had some patients that don't do well on that high. So I say just test it. The bottle that I have is a 9+. I know that some of the bottles that you can buy are 7. You can even buy drops in the store and drop it and alkalinize your own water. And then therefore you can test and see what's good for you. But definitely alkalinize. That's the whole reason why we tell you to eat fruits and vegetables. They tend to alkalinize your body as well. Oftentimes you will hear people say, oh, drink water with lemon in it, right? Because that alkalinizes your body too. I know it sounds weird because lemon is acidic.
It's acidic, yeah.
Right, but when you add it to the pH of water, which is H2O, it becomes basic and alkalinized.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? It's interesting because, and you mentioned the acidic and the acid reflux. I had an issue with that about 2.5 years ago where I was hoarse. I was hoarse for almost 6 months, 6 to 8 months. And I thought it was my allergies. Then they thought, well, maybe you have polyps. And they found out it was because the acid in my stomach was going up to my vocal cords, tearing off my vocal cords.
Yes.
Girl. Yes. So I had to go to a non-acidic diet. Now, side note, that's not what the doctor told me. He told me to take some medicine. And I was like, so how long am I going to have to take this medicine? He was like, the rest of your life. I said, no, thank you. So I said, so what else can I do? And he said, well, you're going to have to cut out all acidic stuff. And I did. I ended up losing a lot of weight too, which was a great plus for it. But here's the thing. One, I was shocked because that was not the first thing he told me.
Right.
And you know what, Dr. Samm, he said most people don't want to change their diet. I get that, because that was no fried foods. That was no lemon, no lime. That was not peanut butter, because peanut butter was so fatty. It was making, my stomach really work hard. And girl, I was probably eating peanut butter every day because I'm a vegetarian. So, so it was a big switch, but I will tell you, I feel great, and my hoarseness went away. But that's when I started
to take any pills, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Naomi Nee is watching, Dr. Samm. Thank you so much for watching. She says, I've been wanting answers about the water. What makes it alkaline, Naomi says?
So they actually add minerals to it. So most of the water that is on the shelf, or when you're adding the drops into your water, they're adding minerals in there. Minerals are so important. So you're adding magnesium, sodium chloride, you're adding potassium. That's what's making it more basic or more alkalinized.
Okay. All right. Naomi, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your question. Please continue to post and share this information, because I know a lot of people like you, Naomi, have questions. And please, if you have another question, please feel free to ask. All right. So what can people do to help build up? Oh, before that, I wanted to know about kids and alkaline water, because I heard that children should not drink alkaline water. Is that correct?
So I really treat adults, but I have a son who's 7 years old, and I don't give him the alkalinized water.
Right.
So I think that their system is quite different from ours, and theirs is probably not as acidic. They haven't had the long years of eating processed foods and things like that.
Right.
And we're really good about feeding our kids most of us, really good about feeding our kids a decent diet and not like, oh, you can have soda pop and this, that, and the other and whatnot.
Right.
And if you're really good about what you're feeding your kids, their system, their digestive system is just not like ours.
Well, you made such a good point too about the fact that, and I think we know this, but it's hard to grasp in our mind that everything we eat, it creates an environment for something, as in disease and viruses. You know, we're dealing with a big one right now, to thrive.
Yes. So in talking about diet, I have a mastery in blood type science. So I did my residency with Peter D'Adamo. He's the author of Eat Right for Your Blood Type. It's a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah.
So ran the clinic for a couple of years. And what I find is that I do a baseline of testing to know people's blood type. And then we go a little bit further and do some more genetic testing. But the base of it is blood typing. And so what we find is that a blood type A doesn't have a lot of hydrochloric acid in their stomach, so they can't break down meat. Therefore, they should be vegetarian.
Yeah.
Blood type O, which is completely the opposite, has a high amount of hydrochloric acid. So they really should have some meat so that the acid has something to break down so that it doesn't come up as acid reflux and also that it doesn't produce ulcers. Mm-hmm. Blood type B is kind of came after O and A, and they are severely allergic to chicken and corn. And those are my patients that come in and they're like, I have had migraines all my life and I just take them off of chicken and corn for 2 weeks and all the headaches.
Are you serious? Wow.
All of them go away. And then the blood type AB is a mingling of the A and B. Very, very different type of diet because they can't have the meat like A, right? But they can have some meat like B. They can't have the corn and the chicken like B. So it's a little bit different, but we customize everything based upon some other markers that we do. But it's a really baseline diet. And what it does is it's at least customized a little bit for you. And it's a anti-inflammatory diet. Inflammation causes a myriad of different disease processes, arthritis, cancer, all those different things. And so we could just eat. Food is our medicine.
Right.
It is our medicine. So why not eat food that's actually going to be medicinal for you as opposed to poisonous for you? So for example, somebody might think avocado is fantastic. It is. It's a great fat, right? But not everybody can have avocado. Tomatoes, fantastic fruit.
I can't have them.
Not everybody can have tomatoes, right? They're a nightshade. So
I love them, but they don't love me.
I know. So
yeah, that's so interesting. So we really need to find out, one, what our blood type is, because it really is specific to everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't think that's what I know people don't do that. And unfortunately, I don't think all of our doctors do that.
No, even when I gave birth to my baby, I was like, I want to know the blood type. That's not something they do.
Right.
It's not something they do.
We're talking to Dr. Samm Pryce. She is a 3-time best-selling author and a world-renowned naturopathic physician. And we've been talking about natural healing. So let me ask you about this. What can we eat and take to help build up our immune system? I mean, it's flu season. We're in the midst of COVID. Are there some things that we should be eating and taking, maybe nutrients, vitamins right now?
Yes, absolutely. So fresh fruits and vegetables, that's always going to be my number one, right? I would probably decrease your dairy intake because dairy tends to increase mucus production. So I would lay low on the dairy a little bit. As far as supplements, this is always a must, especially when we start in cold and flu season. Vitamin C is like my go-to. And believe it or not, it's your doctor's go-to too. Yeah. We all have vitamin C in our house. And that's the first thing we're going to reach for. What most people don't understand about vitamin C is it's antiviral, antibacterial. It is like such a wonderful, all-encompassing vitamin. What you need to do is do it to bowel tolerance, though. So normally I will have patients have powdered vitamin C. And if the suggested dose is a scoop, you do a scoop. no abdominal issues. Then the next day you're going to do 2 scoops. You keep adding a scoop until you have diarrhea or abdominal cramping. Then you're going to back down 1 dose. That back down 1 dose is considered your bowel tolerance, and that's the dosage that's customized for your body.
Oh, wow.
That's how much your body can absorb and really take in. And it's really important to know your bowel tolerance for when you're sick. So at least 1 scoop a day, or at least maybe 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C per day. And if you're a smoker, even more.
Wow.
When you are smoking, you need to take vitamin C immediately after you smoke. It depletes your vitamin C levels. So when you get sick, you want an extra dose of vitamin C. So let's say that you're taking 5,000 milligrams daily. Then when you get sick, or if you have a cough or a sneeze or something that's just not feeling right, then you want to go to bowel tolerance so that you have that extra dose. Vitamin A is really important. Vitamin A protects our mucous membranes, and that's really important right now, right? So if you get too much vitamin A, you'll have a headache like you've never felt before. So just watch your dosage of vitamin A. Elderberry is in the news, and elderberry is one of my favorites. There's really no side effects to elderberry. You can get it in a syrup. You can give it to your kids. You can get it in a gummy. You can get it in a pill. Elderberry is amazing, antiviral, antibacterial, just like vitamin C, and it tastes really good.
Yeah, right? I do a syrup. It's elderberry syrup. Yeah,
exactly. Another one is zinc. So normally you will see a zinc deficiency when you cannot smell or you can't taste. Some people can't smell things, they can't taste things. That was a big one when COVID first came out. They noticed that the patients that were actually diagnosed positive were coming in that they couldn't smell anything or they couldn't taste anything. That's for the zinc deficiency. So zinc is really, really important for that. Melatonin is amazing. So melatonin is the master hormone of the immune system. I think that most of us think about melatonin and going to sleep right now.
Right. Yes.
Right. So melatonin is actually one that's been tested that decreases the NLRP3, which is the inflammasome associated with COVID specifically. So we've had some research on that. It does really good for, so as soon as somebody's diagnosed with COVID, or you are susceptible, or you've been in contact with someone, those are some of the things that I tell them to take. And vitamin D, of course. So we are heading into winter, and I am in Michigan, and there's the whole seasonal affective disorder and not having enough light. So I call vitamin D the antidepressant type of vitamin. Okay. So yes, you should see your mental health practitioner, but vitamin D is amazing. Most of us have a vitamin D deficiency and don't even know it. So I test all of my patients for vitamin D. Vitamin D will help you with your mood, and it's also great to boost up your immune system.
Wow.
So those are some of the suggestions.
Yeah. So alkaline waters, vitamin C, vitamins D, zinc, and melatonin. Now, can we get all of these in a multivitamin?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's okay if you do a multi. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Because are there certain amounts of all of this that we need to get?
So when you're buying a multivitamin, the manufacturers know what dosages to put in there. So yeah. I wouldn't worry about that.
Naomi has another question, Dr. Samm. She says she follows a fruitarian diet mostly and some veganism. She says, is there any advice you can give her? Like, should she be concerned about her blood type?
You absolutely should. And while I love the fact that you're doing healthy, whole foods, which are amazing, I would be concerned about anemia, because I'm not seeing, sometimes veganism or vegetarianism makes me feel like carbotarian.
Yeah.
So you're not getting enough protein, and protein, you're going to need that so that you're not anemic. Okay. So yes, I would get my blood type done, and I would consider following that. And if you are going to be vegan, then you really need to pay attention to the beans and legumes that are going to give you the protein that you need.
Yeah, I'm a big bean because I don't eat meat, so I'm big on beans. Like I said, I was big on peanuts. Now I'm not, but nuts, almonds.
Yes.
I'm doing a lot of almonds.
Okay.
Broccoli is good. So
yes.
yeah.
So the other thing with being a fruitarian is while we think of fruit as all natural and having natural sugar in it, it still has sugar. So it could spike glucose levels or your sugar levels. And I don't want that to lead into type 2 diabetes. So just the whole fruit part. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Allison Aristide is watching from Florida. Hey there, Allison. She wants to know what types of foods or things do you suggest for a child diagnosed with attention deficit? Do you believe in this diagnosis? Thank you for your question.
Absolutely believe in the diagnosis. There is absolutely. While I don't do pediatrics, I do know that kids or even adults with attention deficit disorder or even attention deficit hyperactivity disorder need a higher amount of protein. So you want to make sure that they're getting protein with every single meal and every single snack.
So is that more than just eating a lot of meat, Dr. Samm?
Yeah, because you could have a vegetarian. It could be the beans and legumes. We call them vegetable proteins.
Okay.
And then I have seen my colleagues that actually do pediatrics do the blood type diet with great success with their ADD little kids.
Okay, great. Thank you, Allison. Thank you so much for watching. We're talking to Dr. Samm Pryce. She is a 3-time best-selling author and a world-renowned naturopathic physician. And we are talking about what things you can do to heal yourself, be healthy, and do it naturally. So I want to ask you about your book, 7 Naturopathic Secrets to Transform Your Health. Can you tell us a couple of those secrets? Can we uncover the secrets?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So one of them that we haven't talked about is sleep. Like I lecture around the world actually about sleep, and I actually teach other physicians about the importance of teaching their patients about sleep. Sleep is that panacea that I don't think that we really talk about. So sleep affects your weight. It affects your mood. Wow. It affects your immune system. It also affects cancer, believe it or not.
Wow, so really?
Those of you guys who are working third shift, so like my nurses and my doctors that have the night shift, the World Health Organization actually classifies any nighttime working as a carcinogenic, which means that it can possibly produce cancer.
Wow.
We have something called circadian rhythms, and our body is naturally wired for us to sleep when it's dark and at certain times. And when you get that off, it decreases your immune system, which then allows for cancer to possibly creep in. And that's my specialty. So oncology is actually my specialty. The other thing is that sleep is also related to 3 hormones: leptin, ghrelin, and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the last. Insulin. And so that is all related to diabetes. So if you're not getting what is called quality sleep, so quality is 3 different things. That's the duration of your sleep. How long are you sleeping, right? That is the quantity of your sleep, or the quality of your sleep. So deep restorative sleep, and then non-fragmented, meaning it's not interrupted sleep.
Right.
So this is what makes sleep really, really good. That is affected when you're not diabetes. Your sugar levels are affected when you're not getting quality sleep. Testosterone. So we've got lots of people, at least I'm seeing it, where we've got male factor infertility. And so a lot of people are having to do IVF, right? Because testosterone is affected. Females also have testosterone in them as well. So testosterone is affected by not sleeping really well. So some of the tricks that I have for sleeping is an acronym called NAP. NAPP. So N is for say no to screen time.
Wow. Okay.
Screen time specifically after a certain time. And the reason for that is that screens, our television, our computer, our phones, have what's called blue light that's emitted. And it's the same light as the sun. And blue light is fantastic. The sun is awesome. It makes us more alert. makes us alert.
Which means that it makes us not go to sleep. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding.
So, ding, ding, ding. So it also tends to decrease melatonin. And melatonin is that initiator of the wind down signal when we're trying to go to sleep. Okay. So no to screen time after a certain hour, no to caffeine after a certain hour. And I think that sometimes, even though we're doing herbal tea, sometimes herbal tea has caffeine.
It does. It really does. Yeah.
So yeah. And some chocolate has caffeine in it.
Don't I know it, girl? Because I had to cut off caffeine because it's very acidic.
There you go. So no to bringing work home. I know that one's a really hard one for most of my patients, but no to that. And then A is for the amount of time that you're supposed to sleep. So it is different for everybody. It's not 8 hours for everybody. So I usually have patients give me at least 3 nights where they can just go to sleep and not have an alarm clock or someone wake them up at a certain time. And then you average what that time is over the 3 nights. That's how much time your body needs to sleep. And then also in Chinese medicine, it is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. that I need for you to sleep. At least those 4 hours. That's when your body naturally makes melatonin, which is that master hormone, right?
Oh, wow.
And then the first P is for plan. So just like I was talking about our little kids and how we feed them really well, we also have a bedtime routine for them. And it builds up that muscle memory of how to go to sleep and being prepared to go to sleep. So maybe dinner at a certain time, have a cup of chamomile tea, put in the diffuser neroli or some type of calming scent. And
I use frankincense.
Yes, I love frankincense.
I love frankincense.
Yes.
Yeah. I tell you, girl, those 3 kings knew what they were doing with that frankincense.
They did. Take a bath, do something relaxing, some type of self-care, go to bed, journal or something like that. And then the last P is for positivity. Always end your day in positivity. So I have a gratitude jar, but a lot of my patients have a gratitude journal. And in the jar, I write what I'm grateful for that day. And I stick it in the jar. And then on the 31st or the 1st of the year, I dump all of them out and I get to see all the different things that were wonderful in my life.
Oh, I love that. I love that. We're talking to Dr. Samm Pryce. Allison says that she's monitoring her sleep with her Fitbit. She said she was surprised to see that she's not getting restorative sleep. She says she's working on it now and exercise is helping.
Perfect.
Yeah. Both Naomi and Allison have a question about Cmos. Well, ladies, you are just in time because we are getting ready to, after the break, we are going to come back with Dr. Samm Pryce, and we're going to be joined by Rick Joyner, and they're going to talk about Cmos. That's coming up next on Coping with COVID. I'm Tre Tailor.
Coping with COVID is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. Also, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Center. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their life. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Center at agapects.com. And Columbia Housing Authority. The agency is looking for stories from former residents of Allen Benedict Court to retain some of the property's rich history. In its 80-year life, Allen Benedict Court has been home to some of the country's elite, including a Grammy Award-winning performer, corporate executives, national television celebrities, a host of doctors, lawyers, and NBA greats. So share your pictures, mementos, and memories at chcares@chasc.org. Coping with COVID, brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Hello, this is Jamie Devine, Chairman of the Richland One School Board. I have enjoyed being able to give back to this community that has given so much to me, and I will be honored to earn your vote to return to the board and to continue to fight for this community that has such a rich history and legacy. Please remember to cast your vote for Jamie Devine in the election for Richland One School Board, Seat 2, this November 3rd, or in advance by absentee ballot. Thank you.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Jamie Devine for the Richland 1 School Board.
Palmetto Media Connections wants to connect with you. Find and like us on Facebook and a chance to win dinner for a family of 10 for the Thanksgiving holidays. Provided by licensed caterer Deacon Eddie Green of Catering and Beyond, 201 Columbia Mall Boulevard, 803-567-3986. Connect with us for a chance to win dinner for a family of 10. Sponsored by Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together.
People will be able to look 100 years from now. They will know how we got over. This makes it even more important that we shine this light.
Part of it also wasn't the fact that we couldn't have the physical graduation, but I also couldn't celebrate with my family out of town.
For me, I feel like this is a new normal. This is not going away anytime soon, I don't think.
Anything that's happened before can happen again. And the same thing is at play with this virus.
We are no longer in a building, and we've talked about church being, with us, in us.
Have you traveled abroad late in the past 6 months? We were trying to trace it back as early as November.
If you are experiencing any type of domestic violence, there are people and resources and organizations that are in place to help you. There are several numbers on the screen. Please utilize that information. If you or someone you know needs help, there's help. Please get the help that you need. I'm Tre Tailor, and you're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. We're talking about natural healers, food, water, vitamins, the shift to healing and being healthy naturally. Dr. Samm Pryce just gave us some incredible information about what to do and what to use to boost your immune system and get healthy. And now we're going to be joined by award-winning radio professional Rick Joyner. So Rick, I saw you promoting Cmos on your page,
right?
And you were the reason why, Dr. Samm, we even had this show, because you were talking about it is doing some amazing stuff for you. And before we get to you, I want to say that Allison Aristide says that she wanted to know about Cmos. She says it seems all of the rage. She says, however, people from the islands have been using Cmos for years. So what happened, Rick, that you started using it?
Okay, before I get into that, can I give you some flowers first?
Yes. Oh my God.
Okay. Tre and I have known each other for years, and I have always had the highest respect and regard for you as a broadcast professional. And then for you to now have this platform, you are doing so much for people there in the Columbia and Richland County area with your local take on coping with COVID and all of the great information that you give out that also transcends past the state lines, if you will. It's just great stuff, baby. And I just want to just lift you up for just a second and say thank you for being such a great broadcast professional. And now coping with COVID is taking off. I love it.
Rick, thank you so much for those kind words. I really appreciate it. And as you know, I don't want to get into it because I'll probably start crying. But thank you. I'll just say thank you. Because I mean, this is what I can do. This is what I can do. I mean, I have the experience and the means to do it, and I'm just so honored and humble that God gave me this platform, and that it's helping people, because just like Dr. Samm, just like you, we can do what we can do, and God gives us all gifts for us to walk in those gifts to help the community. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Okay, so now I'll answer your question.
Yes.
When COVID hit, a buddy of mine caught it. Okay.
Oh my.
And we were worried about him, and he took himself to the hospital. He was feeling terrible, blah, blah, blah. They tested him. He came back positive. They sent him home to quarantine. He wasn't bad enough to stay in the hospital.
Right.
And he shared with me that one of the first things he did the next day was he took some Cmos Gel. And when he said when he did that, he almost immediately felt relief in his chest, and he just started feeling better almost immediately. And I was like, Cmos Gel. So I started looking it up, and it started popping up all over social media.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I kept researching and studying. And I wanted some. And I have an herb shop where I go to get all of my supplements. Thank God I'm not on any medications whatsoever.
That's a blessing.
I will be 60 years old in just a few days. And
wow.
I feel
you look great.
It does look great.
Thank you. I feel incredible. So I went to my herb shop to get some things, and he had some Cmos Gel in a refrigerator. And he also had the Cmos and Bladderwrack blend. And he said, oh, yeah, you need the Bladderwrack. I'm like, okay, so I got the Cmos Bladderwrack blend and started taking it. Okay. 2 tablespoons a day. 5 days later, my fingernails were growing faster, longer. My energy level shot up. My libido shot up.
Wow.
Everything was shooting up.
I guess that's good for whoever you're dating, but I digress.
I'm a single, lonely man right now. So
I know
that.
You won't be for long.
But I was like, oh my goodness, I feel so incredible. And I kept researching and reading, and his price was a little high, I thought. So I wanted to try another option. I ended up getting some Cmos Gel after I ran out of his from someone else. And then I found out that person actually was making it herself, and she was getting the Cmos from a flea market here in the local Atlanta area. Well, I'm very analytical, and I'm always questioning things and information because if I'm going to put something in my body, I want to know.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to know this unequivocally. I need to know the source. I need to know where it came from. And I need to know that this is good. And something from the flea market. Right. Yeah.
And
I'm not saying that there was anything wrong with it. I just wasn't sure.
Right.
Especially after I heard the stories about how sometimes people will add some kind of a bleach solution, because Cmos is a sea vegetable. Okay. Right. And it comes from the sea. It smells like the sea. It tastes like the sea. So in order to alleviate,
it's Cmos.
Yeah, it's Cmos. So in order to alleviate that, sometimes people may add a bleach solution of some sort. And when I heard the word bleach, I'm like, no. I'm not interested in anything that's had any bleach touching
that you want to put in your body. Yeah,
exactly. I also then heard that some people will actually add salt back to it in a soaking solution. I'm like, I don't think that's necessary either. It comes from the sea waters that are salt water. And I'm like, I don't get it. So I kept studying, and then I found someone who's from St. Lucia who makes it. And I when I tell you I grilled her on her process, because once I realized I needed to be in this business, number one, because it's lucrative, but most importantly, because it's a way to help people to fight viruses from the inside out.
Yeah.
Amen.
When COVID hit, one of the things that concerned me so much was that there was no one talking about taking preventative measures other than wearing a mask. This is a virus that attacks your immune system. It makes sense. If you build up your immune system, then you're going to be less susceptible to things like COVID and colds and flu. I am not telling you that it's going to prevent you from getting COVID.
Right.
If you put yourself in the position to get COVID, chances are you're going to get it. But I do believe this. I do believe that if you do the right things with your body to build it up, you're not going to be as susceptible to getting it, and it probably won't be as bad if you've got a stronger immune system.
Well, that's what Dr. Samm just said, right, Dr. Samm?
Absolutely. And if there's one silver lining that this whole pandemic has brought out, is that we are now more aware of preventative measures, of cooking our own food, of growing our own food, of the fact of being with our family and our loved ones, and how important every single second is.
Yes.
And honestly, not to negate, the people who have been sick, who have died from COVID, but that really is a silver lining for COVID, is the fact that we're more aware of preventative measures, as Rick has said.
Yeah. Want to say hi to everybody watching. Maxine says, it is amazing. She said it rids the body of mucus. Danielle Lake, thank you so much for your kind words. Charmaine Chapman Talmadge is watching from Newark, New Jersey. Thank you so much. Paul Williams says, great information. Maxine says, Cmos has 92 of the 102 minerals that your body needs. Is that true, Dr. Samm?
Yes, it is. Cmos is fantastic. I think the one really big thing that I want everybody to take away from Cmos is that it helps your digestive system. And the digestive system, if you don't already know it, has 80% of our immune system. 80% of our immune system is found in your gut. So if you've got gut issues, you have immune issues, right? And so those minerals that it contains helps to regulate our digestion. You don't want to be constipated, but you don't want to have diarrhea either. You should be very regulated. So the really important thing that Rick was talking about, how your friend took Cmos and all of a sudden felt better when he had COVID, I would like to think that is because we have something called T regulator cells in our digestive tract. And the T regulator cells are the little guys or the generals that come and they say, okay, we've had enough fighting. We're going to regulate this now. They're regulators. Right? And so when you have a cytokine storm, if you guys remember the news talking about the cytokine storm and how bad COVID was, and that's why people were on the ventilators and things like that, the T regulator cells are the ones that go and regulate that. They help to decrease the cytokine storm specifically. And if you don't have the T regulator cells, it blows up.
Wow.
It blows up.
Yeah.
So, Rick, so you connected with this sister that was actually making it, and you guys started kind of talking about your distributing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I had to do this because after grilling her so much, and here's the cotton candy color.
Ooh, that looks nice.
And I'll explain the different colors here in just a second. But once I got through grilling her, this is what made me know that she was going to be my exclusive manufacturer. There are different processes that people use to turn Cmos into Cmos Gel. Some of it includes boiling it. Some people's process includes boiling the Cmos. But let me tell you how I think. I think that the most natural state of something that's good for you, vegetables and fruits, and this is a sea vegetable. Cmos and bladderwrack are both sea vegetables. So when you can have it in its natural form, with as little being done to it and as little being added to it as possible, then you're going to reap the maximum benefits that it can offer you. So her process is real simple. Number one, she's from St. Lucia. Okay. She's from St. Lucia.
She's right there. Yeah.
And her family is still there. Okay. They harvest the sea moss from the ocean. Okay. They lay it out in the beautiful, warm Caribbean sunlight and let it dry. And then they send it to her.
Wow. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
So once she gets it, the process that we use to make it is very simple. She does a soaking and rinse of the sea moss first in a solution of alkaline water, 8.8 pH, as a matter of fact, and she only adds some lime juice. The lime juice, which is alkaline as well, helps to break down any smell or any taste that may be in the sea moss. Okay. After that rinse, then she rinses 2 to 3 more times throughout a couple of hours with only that 8.8 pH alkaline water. Okay. Then she allows it to soak overnight in that water. The next morning, she cuts it up into a blender with alkaline water, and that's it.
Wow.
It's very, very natural. It's the best sea moss, I believe, that you're going to get on the market because we don't add anything to it. We don't take away anything from it. It is 92 minerals in a magic jar.
So, Rick, how can people get, because Monica Hilton is watching. She says she's in the Atlanta area. She's Monica, the cake lady, by the way. She said she'd love to connect with you. She's in Atlanta. She was living here in Columbus. She's in Atlanta. She said she'd love to connect with you with the sea moss. So how can people purchase some of your sea moss, and how are you distributing it?
Okay, great question. Thank you so much. First of all, my phone number is on the screen.
Yeah.
That is my cell phone. Okay. Just text me, dear. I would love to connect with you. And if you make a mean German chocolate cake, I feel a trade coming in our future.
Look at there.
You know, my birthday's coming up, and my mom used to make a German chocolate cake for me every year. And mom's been gone now for 6 years. My sister started doing a cake for me for my birthday, and then she just had surgery yesterday, and we thank God that she's doing much better. Had a crazy bacterial infection, so now I still need somebody to get my German chocolate cake.
Hey, look at there, Monica.
Okay, so the Cmos Gel, if you can see, it's 2 colors.
Yeah,
this is gold, and this is more of a pink. We call this cotton candy. Okay, because of the color of it, not because of the taste. It doesn't taste like cotton candy. It actually tastes like nothing. Both of these are generally the same. The difference between them is only the color, and that's because sea moss grows in different colors. Okay, there is a purple sea moss that grows. There's a blend of colors that grows, and that's where we get the cotton candy from. You can call me directly. I prefer that you text me, okay? Because the phone's ringing all the time. But if you text me, then it's going to be easier for me to get back to you. But I am distributing throughout the metro Atlanta area, and we've started doing some mail outs. We've been mailing to Memphis, Baltimore, Chicago, California, and a bunch of other places as the business continues to grow. I encourage everyone to get on some Cmos Gel. If you're an adult, it's just going to make you a healthier adult. I was watching a late show. I think it was last night. Bill Maher was a guest on, I believe it was on Jimmy Kimmel. And one of the things that Bill Maher says was that no one was talking about boosting the immune system.
Right.
You talk about wearing a mask, you talk about social distancing, you talk about quarantine, you talk about all of these other things, but you don't talk about doing something proactive inside of your body to build it up. Cmos Gel, folks, is the answer. I'm telling you, it changed my life. I don't see myself going a day for the rest of my life without taking some Cmos Gel.
So how do you take it? Do you take it straight, or do you put it like in a smoothie or something like that?
Yeah,
I put mine in a smoothie.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because it's just 2 tablespoonfuls straight out the jar from me. Okay. It doesn't have a taste. Now you'll get some taste when you get the Bladder Rack blend. The Bladder Rack has, because it's so high in iodine, Okay. And it's just extremely rich. You'll get a little taste from the bladderwrack blend, but my Cmos Gel, this one and this one, they are tasteless and odorless. So it's easy for me and for a lot of people to just take 2 big tablespoonfuls. And I'm going to tell you something else that I do now. I'll take my first tablespoonful and chew it and swallow it down real quick. And I'll take my second tablespoon and just let it sit in my mouth. I'm letting these minerals just sit in my mouth and slowly permeating down through my esophagus and blessing my whole soul and body as it goes down. So just a little tip for those that are taking it that way. Now, for those that cannot take the consistency, because it is a gel. And you know how humans are. We can
we're
sensitive.
funny. I'm funny. I'm that way. I can't.
And I understand you're not the only one. Some people feel like that, like they do about oysters. They can't do oysters.
I can't eat. I don't eat oysters. Me too, Dr. Sam. Well, I don't eat meat, so
y'all don't know what y'all missing. I love. Anyway.
I don't like that. I don't like that feel. I don't like that.
I don't either.
And that it's a different kind of a consistency when you put the Cmos Gel in your mouth. So if that's you, guess what? You can put it on a salad. You can spread it on a sandwich. You can add it to your tea, to your coffee, to your smoothies.
I put it in my smoothie.
Yeah, there's just add it to anything. Just make sure that you ingest it and get it in your body every day. And I tell anybody, if you get a 16-ounce jar of my Cmos Gel and take 2 tablespoonfuls a day, all right? If you do that, this 16-ounce jar is going to last you about a week and a half. And then you'll be calling me to reorder because you almost can't help but feel a difference. Now, we know that everyone's bodies are made differently. But one of my clients, she took the first dose and that day she felt better.
Wow.
That day she could tell a difference. And I'm like, wow, this stuff is really incredible. So whatever your condition is, if you want to live a healthier, better life, because it just kind of helps to balance everything out. There was a term, Dr. Sam, that you used earlier, regulate. It's a great regulator for your body, and it just does a body good. Now,
So Monica, first of all, she says she got you with the German chocolate cake, but she wanted to know what was the shelf life of the jar in a fridge, and you said 2 weeks. Rick, if you're taking 2 teaspoons a day.
I said, if you're taking 2 tablespoons a day, it's going to last you about a week and a half.
Okay.
I've never had any longer than a week and a half because
you're taking it.
I'm committed to taking it.
Do you need to take 2 tablespoons a day? Is that the recommended dosage? I don't know if either one of you know.
And it's kind of up in the air. I do know that I trust my herbal guy. And when I got it and he told me to take 2 tablespoons a day, he was right on point, because with those 2 tablespoons a day, I just felt incredible.
Okay.
It's not something that you can overdo. You know, I would not suggest that you take 5 tablespoons a day. It's just no need in it.
Yeah.
You know, the 2 tablespoons are giving you enough of those minerals in it that it's going to do what it needs to do for you. But you need to be committed. You need to be committed to taking it every day in order to really feel and notice and reap the benefits of it being in your body.
Lauren wants to know, can you take it even if you're on medication?
Oh, very good question. I had a client that, and he didn't tell me all of the medications that he was on until after the fact.
Right.
So he's diabetic. He's got prostate issues. He's got high blood pressure issues, and he's on all of this medication. So what he does is in the morning, he gets up. He's got all of his medication laid out. He takes all of his medication, and then he added 2 tablespoons of Cmos Gel to that. Okay, at the same time. He said he didn't know he didn't know if he was going or coming. He was, you know, he was pumped up and energetic and he just didn't know. He felt funny, and it wasn't that it made him sick,
right?
But he felt funny. And I said, well, it would have been good for you to tell me that you were taking all those medications. So let me give this disclaimer first. I am not a medical physician.
Right.
And anything that you want to put into your body, my suggestion is that you check with your doctor first.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, good thing we've got a doctor right here. Go ahead, finish, Rick, but I'm going to ask Dr.
And then I'm going to add to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So whether or not it lasts for a month, I think anything, especially something that's fresh and natural like this, is going to just last longer in the refrigerator. So I suggest that you keep it refrigerated from the time you get it until you're done with the jar, which should only be about a week and a half. Right. I haven't tried to see if it would last for a month because I'm taking it every day.
You're taking 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get Dr. Samm in here. So Dr. Samm, Lauren wanted to know what about if you're on medication?
Right.
A lot of people are.
Right, exactly. So my only caution is if you have a seafood allergy, I would caution using Cmos only because your seafood allergy is usually an iodine type of allergy, and Cmos has a lot of iodine in it. So I would caution with that. With having a high amount of iodine, you want to think of what's iodine poisoning, what an increase in iodine if you have hyperthyroidism. So you know whether or not you're diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, a goiter, a big lump in your throat right here. You'll have a fast heart rate. So this is if you're taking Cmos also. This is some of the things you want to look for if you're taking too much. So I agree, not 5 tablespoons or something like that. So you want to look for a fast heart rate. You want to look for unexplained weight loss. This is going to help you lose weight if you want to lose weight. Yes. But unexplained weight loss is not okay, right? So warm skin. So that's like moist skin, not sweating, but just like a weird kind of moist skin, muscle weakness, turning blue. That's not a good thing, you guys. Not a good thing. Okay.
Right. You turn blue. Yeah.
Nausea, vomiting, those type of things. You want to consult a doctor. So as far as medications, if you have any kind of thyroid medications, I would consult my doctor and let them know. And I would also start with a smaller dose. Right. I'm not saying that you can't take it. So if you have hypothyroidism, that's low thyroid, this might be amazing for you. But I would take a smaller dose just to see how you're going to react to it. And also, so for my patients, I do blood work every 3 months because your cells overturn every 3 months. However, most of your physicians are doing blood work every 6 months to a year. Well, you're not going to know whether or not you've turned hyperthyroid or whether or not you've got some other issues if you're not doing the blood work consistently. And you need to pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your body. Just like Rick said, he felt better. He noticed his nails were getting longer. He noticed these things in his body. If we're just noticing things, look at your poop. Look at your pee.
Yeah.
Okay. Know how you're feeling. And when you're doing medications with Cmos, you just need to know that you might need to decrease your medications.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
It affects your blood sugar. It affects your immune system. You might be able to decrease those medications. And he was probably feeling a little off because he probably didn't need as big of a dose of those medications.
Right. Now, Trey, if I may, I have a top 10 list of benefits of Cmos Gel that I just want to share with people. Number one, it contains 92 of the 102 minerals that are in our bodies.
Right. I think Maxine said that earlier. Yeah.
Exactly. So and most of us don't get nearly the amount of minerals that our bodies need from our diet. You just don't get it. So imagine what happens when you start feeding your body what it's naturally made of, what it naturally craves. The results can be phenomenal. So number one, it's got 92 minerals. It supports a healthy heart. It promotes good digestion. It helps maintain a healthy weight. It's a great post-workout recovery tonic, too, for people that work out.
Okay.
Once you're done working out and you've depleted these minerals and energy and stuff, adding that back to your body via the Cmos Gel can really be wonderful. It promotes a healthy thyroid, which is extremely important as well.
Stop right there for a second, Rick, only because Daniel just asked about a thyroidectomy. She
right.
said,
So that means that her thyroid has been removed, or parts of it have been removed for some reason or another, or maybe they did radiation. I'm not really sure for her.
Mm-hmm.
But normally in a thyroidectomy, they're giving you thyroid medication to replace the hormones and the nutrients that you would get from the thyroid. So I would think with the thyroidectomy that this would be okay. I actually would start you at a lower dose of the Cmos just to make sure you're okay, because you're already on thyroid medication.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in there because you mentioned thyroids, and Danielle had just asked that question. Yeah, go ahead. All right.
Absolutely.
So that was number 5. What's number 6?
Support a healthy immune system, of course, which we've already talked about.
Right.
It improves your metabolism. Okay. It supports your hair, your skin, and your nails. Some women actually use the Cmos Gel as a facial mask from time to time. So imagine those minerals just sitting there on your face and your skin and going into your pores for 30 minutes or so.
That's
Some
cool.
women use it as a conditioner in their hair. And the last one that's probably the most important one for some people, it improves your libido.
Oh, I was on mute. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
It improves your libido. We're going to put the little blue pill out of business.
Right. Right.
So I do want to use one caution with putting it on your skin.
Yeah.
I would do a skin test, just like a little part of your skin, and test it on your skin, because sometimes it has been reported to cause skin irritation or rash, a little reddening. So you just want to test it on your skin before you put it all over your face first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if people want, so you said you are, people can contact you if they want to purchase it. You will mail it out, because I know Allison from Florida was on earlier. She had said that she wanted to try some. Also, Naomi Nee had mentioned that she's been hearing a lot about it and that she wanted to try it. And then, of course, you and Monica are going to do the German chocolate cake trade first.
Absolutely. And let me also say this. I am launching a huge distribution network of this Cmos Gel, and I'm looking for partners in different cities, even in Columbia and in Maryland, wherever you are, that want to partner with me to sell the Cmos Gel at your location. If you have a health food store or an herb shop or whatever, there are so many businesses that focus on your health that don't have the Cmos Gel, and we're able to provide it for them at a wholesale price, and they can retail it. But we're doing mail outs every week. I'm getting ready to do a big mail out on Friday, as a matter of fact. So if you're interested in getting the Cmos Gel, I only ask for $25 for a 16-ounce jar, which is really at the lower end of the retail pricing that I've seen. Some people are selling this for $40 and $45. I'm like, you're ripping people off.
Yeah.
So we're not doing that, but it's $25, and we'll add shipping and handling if we need to send it to you. I'd love to do that. My phone number is on the screen, 770-362-5203. And if you will just text me, we'll connect. And if you're in the Atlanta area, I'll do deliveries. I'll be all around 285. You hear me? Around 285, helping people to get better and to live a better, more higher quality of life through Cmos Gel. It's incredible.
That's great. So you can contact Rick at the number that you see on the screen. As you said, it's best to text you as opposed to calling you. And not only is he selling the Cmos, he is looking for Cmos distributors. If you would like to work with him on distributing this great Cmos, please contact Rick Joyner. So, Rick Joyner, thank you so much. Like I said, I mean, it was you're the reason why we even had this show. And like I said, a lot of people have been inquiring about it, and I wanted to do a wide-ranging show. So, Dr. Samm, thank you too.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
For joining us. Anything in closing, Dr. Samm, that you wanted to share?
No, stay safe out there, you guys. Wash your hands, wear your mask, just be safe. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. And I like the idea of the Cmos. Do your prevention, boost your immune system. We are now at almost the start of cold and flu season.
Right.
Yes. And remember, this is a coronavirus, which is COVID is in that family. And so it's going to look as though you might have cold and flu, but you actually might have coronavirus. So if you can shelter in place, regardless of what anybody says. Shelter in place. Okay. You can get your groceries delivered. You can cook your food at home. Do your part for you to stay healthy and to keep other people healthy as well.
Yeah. All right. You see the information to contact Dr. Samm if you want more information on this 3-time best-selling, world-renowned neuropathic physician. Now, didn't you have something else that you were going to do, Dr. Samm?
I do. So I always tell everybody to check their vitals, but vitals is an acronym for V is for visualize your victory. I think that mindset is so important. It's the first chapter of my book. You actually can do affirmations. And what you tell your body is what your body actually thinks. The brain to the body to the organs. Okay. So visualize your victory. I is for individualize your treatment. Individualize everything that you do. What I do versus what Rick does, it's completely different, regardless if they're your family member. Your plan is not my plan. Okay. We're all individualized. God made us different.
Yes.
C is for build your team, your medical team. You are the captain of your team. Place people around you that are going to make you win. Okay. So you build your team. A is for accountability. You need an accountability partner. You need people around you who are going to support you, love you, and encourage you on your health journey. Lifestyle is L. Lifestyle means your food, your supplements, detoxing, your exercise, your movement, your prayer life, lifestyle. Okay. And S is to start. Imperfect action is better than no action.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere. So
Absolutely.
start. So if you text 855-639-0646, just the word vitals, you will get my plan for vitals.
All right. All right. Text it. Vitals to 855-639-0646. And Dr. Samm will send you her information about vitals. And then, of course, please contact Rick Joyner at 8770-362-5203 to get his Cmos and to converse with him about possibly your being a Cmos distributor. Dr. Samm, thank you so much. This was so good. Such good information. And Rick, good luck to you. Congratulations. I want to get me some of your Cmos.
Darling, thank you so much, first of all, for having me on. And Dr. Samm, I've already gone to your website and put in my email information so that I can get the free 8-page thing that you're giving away on the website.
I have an 8-page boost your immune system on my website that's free.
And I hope you guys hook up so that you can be a guest on. She can be a guest on your show too.
Absolutely. I do want some of your Cmos.
Huh?
I'm gonna get some Cmos.
Oh, thank you so much. Absolutely, I got you. No problem. And Trey, if I may, let me give my Cash App because it just makes it so much easier for people. It's $ Rick Joy, RickJoy, RickJoy. $25 for a jar if you're local in the Atlanta area. If I need to mail it to you, just add $9 shipping and handling. $34 total, and you get the Cmos gel in either the gold or the cotton candy. People like the cotton candy because it's pretty.
You know what? I honestly would probably like the cotton candy too. I don't know that gold, what you call gold, mucus to me. It looks like mucus.
You said it's $ Rick Joy.
Yeah, Rick Joy, Joy.
All right, there you go. Cash App, Rick Joy, Joy. All right. Thank you both so much for joining us today on Coping with COVID. You guys, please get the information and reach out to Rick and reach out to Dr. Samm Pryce so that you can build your immune system.
Yes.
We're dealing with COVID. We're dealing with cold and flu season. And you want to live your best possible life. And both of them have given you some great information so that you can do just that. Thank you guys so much for joining us today on Coping with COVID. I appreciate you both.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So listen, if you know someone that has a story that could help someone cope with COVID, please go to my TailorMade Production inbox and contact me on Facebook. If you have a store product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtreitailor gmail.com. And we will be so glad to talk to you about being a proud sponsor of Coping with COVID, just like SCDHEC, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Palmetto Media Connections, and Agape Counseling or Training Center. Now, tomorrow on Coping with COVID, In It Together and the Diabetes Advisory Council present Wellness Wednesday. We're going to talk about tasty and healthy snacks with Chef Jay, Judy Etheridge, and DHEC nutritionist Sharetta Thompson. Now, Thursday, we're going to talk with a longtime WIS-TV sports director, Rick Henry. You may have heard that he just finished a successful bout with prostate cancer. He's going to talk about his journey. That's Thursday on Coping with COVID. Then on Friday, Faith Friday, we're going to talk with Reverend Gerald Salmon with Ladson Presbyterian Church. As always, we leave you with a reading from Jesus Calling today. And today's Jesus Calling on October 27th, Jesus says, if you become increasingly aware of my presence, you find it easier to discern what you should do. This is one of the practical benefits of living close to me. Instead of wondering about what's on the road ahead or worrying about what you should do if or when, you can concentrate on staying in communication with me. Jesus says when you actually arrive at a choice point, it will show you which direction to go. Jesus says, I am the creator of the universe and the most creative being imaginable. I will not leave you circling around in a deeply rooted path. Instead, I will lead you along fresh trails of adventure, revealing to you things that you did not know. Stay in communication with me and follow my guiding peace. That's your Jesus Calling for today, Tuesday, October 27th. I'm Tre Tailor. Until the next time, I wish you peace and abundant blessings. I thank you so much for joining us and encourage you to join us tomorrow on Coping with COVID. And listen, don't forget to wear your mask over your nose and under your cheek. See you tomorrow.
Coping with COVID is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdhec.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. Also, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Center. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their life. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Center at agapects.com. And Columbia Housing Authority. The agency is looking for stories from former residents of Allen Benedict Court to retain some of the property's rich history. In its 80-year life, Allen Benedict Court has been home to some of the country's elite, including a Grammy Award-winning performer, corporate executives, national television celebrities, a host of doctors, lawyers, and NBA greats. So share your pictures, mementos, and memories at chcares@chasc.org. Coping with COVID, brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.